Hey folks, we're looking at Michael Singer's new book as of March 2026, Wisdom Untethered. Today we're looking at the mind. The first chapter, one of the most important chapters, because if you don't get this, then you just don't get it. And so we'll just go through some of the highlights that I've seen. I love Michael Singer. I'm just, enjoying digging into this new book of his. So I thought I'd make some recordings to help me remember in the mind what to do and what not to do and how it all works. And the other thing I'm going to do is put it in the framework of this true north system. I call it the recreation cycle. It's a version of the change cycle. It's a version of actually today I learned it's kind of a version of a mandala in the Carl Jung terms, where you've got a quadrant and you're looking at a world. And I won't get into that today, but that was a cool connection. So back to Singer, which is why we're here. So let's look at some notes here. These are just a few quick notes I took today. The mind is making everything seem urgent and important, and you don't have to fix the mind. You are not your mind. Believing that you are a mind causes trouble. If you can see this, and life can really take care of itself. These are the main points. I'd say the number one point of this chapter is you are not your mind. You are something bigger. You're something greater. You're whatever is witnessing your mind. That is your true self. So I'm going to go back here and look at most of the stuff on this page. So at the top here, we've got the true self. And I believe that this is where we all really want to be, in this place where we can be our best selves, most connected to life, living in the present moment, not worried about how the past and all the mistakes we made, not worried about what we're doing wrong to screw up the future. Of course, these thoughts are going to come to us. And that's what Singer's talking about, is how to deal with this. And so the first step is to, number one, recognize that you are more than your mind. And so to me, it feels like if we look at the whole here, we look at all the different parts. We've got the mind, and then the body. Down here in quadrant 2, we've got the heart, which is your emotions. The heart is your right brain. This is right brain over here. You've got your left brain here, which is your logical brain. So most of the time, our culture focuses on this left. That's where we say everything is the most important. Yes, we say art's important. We say music's important. We say poetry is important. But what we really think is important is the logical mind. We believe that that is what matters. And so many of our problems, and what I think Michael's talking about, how I relate to it, is we get in this loop of going back and forth between mind and body, mind and body, mind and body, and we leave out the heart, and we leave out the one big main thing that I've left out, which is the spirit. Okay, so it's only when we can start to take action. I'm going to use red. That's my action color, red for action. Where do we take action? Well, we do it down here. When we've got a problem, let's say we've got as Michael loves to say, we've got this driver in front of us that is just driving too slow. Too slow. They don't match the reality, because the reality is they shouldn't be driving that fast. See, that's what the mind says. The reality says they should be going the exact speed we think they should be going. So that's the problem. And then when we start to take action in the world, things can change. We can, if we decide, okay, well, all of my problems, my external problems, the driver in front of me, that's the problem. It's not my reaction to the problem. If you've read any of Michael's stuff, one of his core ideas is that how do you say it? How does he say it? It's not the situation in front of you that's the problem. It's your reaction to situation in front of you. That reaction is a mind-body problem. It's a mind problem. By the way, Michael doesn't make these distinctions so much with the body. He would say that this is where the samskaras are probably living, in your body somewhere, in your nervous system. What are samskaras? It's your hang-ups. You got to hang up. Like, I'm late. This guy's in front of me. He's going so slow. What's wrong with him? It reminds me of, fill in the blank, whatever in your life. I don't want to be late again. It's this guy's fault. It's not my fault. Okay? This is a mind-body problem. However, if we can get out of this and go into the right brain, where we can identify our emotions, we can look at our emotions and ask, in a higher, truer, witnessing self, then we can say, here I'm drawing again, you can't see it. I do this all the time. Okay, you couldn't see what I just drew. I just drew. And I can't remember when I did, but look. So we're stuck in the mind-body problem here. The driver is in our way. It's reminding me that I don't like to be late. I've been late before. This is a body problem. This is reality is starting to happen here. This is the reality that we cannot accept in our mind. So we get stuck. So what is better is to move into the heart where we can recognize these emotions. We can get out of the loop and we can start to witness, use our witnessing self to get into a mindset that says, you know what? It's really okay. I'm always going to be okay. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to move my pen so I will remember to switch the camera. Pushing my little buttons here, people. Where am I? Screen. So, the mind is making everything seem urgent and important. The driver. Remember the driver? That's so important that this guy speed up or pull over or whatever he's supposed to do to make everything better, right? That external circumstance is going to make my life better. I'm going to be okay if only he would change. That didn't work, folks, because reality is it's going to be another driver. It's going to be another situation. It's just going to be problem after problem after problem. And if we don't move on from those problems, then we're just going to be stuck in problems for the rest of our life. Well, problems are always going to happen unless you flip that script a little bit and say, well, okay, maybe it's not really a problem. Maybe the problem is inside of me. And when I can overcome that, then I can start to move and grow. I can start to come up to this higher self up here, this witnessing self, which is the true self, the true north. So, what are we going to look at next? These are just, I'm recording these things so that they're not scripted. I'm going off a few notes, so let's take a quick look and see if any of this helps. The mind is making everything seem urgent. You don't have to fix the mind. Well, that's good. You just have to be aware that it's not working for you a lot of the time, especially if you're blaming an external thing on something that can be fixed or made so much better by focusing on the internal. See this and life will take care of itself. Yeah, your job is not to take control of everything. The mind is very good at thinking that it needs to take control. And by the way, down here at the very bottom of all this, I'm going to switch over again. Down here at the very bottom, there's this dark part that I like to call the resistance. And it is something that's never going to go away. It's like gravity. And you might say, well, that's terrible. Well, it's not terrible. Could the world be what it is without gravity? Yes, it's a constant pull. Yes, we have to fight against it. We don't even think about it. But the resistance is gravity. It's never going to go away. And in a way that's freeing because it's not like you're going to get somewhere. This true north, this true self, it's not like you're ever going to get there. It's just all more about having the ability to look at life from that point of view. So that when the driver in front of you is making you mad, you think, oh, There it goes. I'm getting mad again. Great. As Michael might say, something like goody, 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 which is weird. But what he means is, I am now given the opportunity to move past that. Let me feel it. Let me get into my heart and actually feel what it feels like, but don't dwell there. Remember, Jill Bolte Taylor in her work says in her neuroanatomy description of how the mind works, she says, you're going to hold on for an emotion for 90 seconds. And whenever that 90 seconds is done, the cells are done. Like they have done what they need to do. It's only what? The mind that picks it back up. It picks up that again and it gets stuck. And you get in this loop that just goes around and around and around. Instead of going, I'm going to switch my color. Gosh, what a mess. Well, life is messy, folks. Instead of getting stuck, you can make these big cycles and keep coming back to this true north so that when you have more problems in the body, when you have more issues, right? You have more issues here with the resistance. Just over time, you're going to practice. Michael says this. That's the wrong button. Michael says this. See, I'm practicing learning how to use this equipment. Michael says, what did he say? Take action. This trains your mind to let go. This trains your mind to let go. You've got to train yourself. You can't just do this once and expect it to be perfect. You've got to do, like he says, the low-hanging fruit. These little things that bother you. He uses the weather and driving. It's a lot harder when you're dealing with the person you live with who you care deeply about, but they push all your buttons. Why? Because that's life. And because we know each other so well. And somehow we think we're supposed to heal each other by telling each other what they need to do. I won't get into that anymore. It's already been 12 minutes, and that's enough. But be firm at first as you're doing this, because you gotta kind of push hard on your mind, but then it will become more natural. Don't be distracted by the noise, the personal chatter. Learn to be okay with the chatter. The past is just a thought. Don't let it ruin your life. Always appreciate that you're alive. Your intuitive wisdom that's deeper than your thoughts. What does that say? Your intuitive your wisdom. Yeah, it's deeper than your thoughts. So practice centering and the awareness of being. All right, I'm going to try to stop there and say just once again, all of that, folks, is right up here in this true north. And yes, it's a big mess. I'm going to switch over so we don't see all the messing again. But all of that is up here in the true north, that true self. Whoops. Whoops. All right, I got to keep practicing apparently. Let me go there, let me go there. All of this witnessing self is this true north. So finding that centering, compassionate self is the key to all of this. Don't beat yourself up. Just go, hey, I'm learning. I'm going to get better at this bit by bit. I am David Bourne. We're talking about Michael Singer's new book, The Wisdom Untethered, how the mind and the cycle relate. And gosh, I haven't done this in a while. I'm David Bourne. This is the Bourne for the Journey project. I hope you will subscribe and follow along, and we'll keep learning here on this journey. Cheers.